Amanda starts in her hand. She starts all of her.
I started my hand too.
Do you remember those big pastel-y rugs with like an Asian pattern? That
Oh, yes.
Right, so that parts of it was thicker and parts, like the plush was different and it was like carved and it was fancy. I was like, that's what this dining room is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Carved Asian carpet. Yeah. But even the chandelier, I'm like, oh, go bigger, girl. Size matters. Cool. So, hey, I'm Conlon.
And I'm Jay Dewey.
And this is Could Be Better.
The podcast where we pour drinks.
And spill the tea.
About what we really think about
this month's issue of Better
Homes and Gardens.
So, yeah, April Fools.
April Fools.
This is a very special episode of Blossom. because we're doing it virtually because we are all sheltering in place and staying home.
So if the audio is off, listeners, you'll understand why. We're doing it by Zoom.
Yeah.
As everybody is right now.
Everybody is, right? And if they aren't, they should. So how about the fact that if you think about it, our March episode was like, I think that was like the last time we saw people outside of like our, like where we went to his house and did like, it's been a different world the last month or so.
No, completely different.
It's like, why do we even have a magazine about Better Homes and Gardens? You're not going
there is that too.
Now. Nobody else is going to see your home or garden.
But you're spending a lot of time in your home.
It's true.
And if you're like me, then you're looking around a lot going, oh God, this place could be better.
Yes. Yeah, I've started a couple projects. I haven't really accomplished much because you start a project and then you sort of need something and you're like, oh, I can't go to the store and buy that. Stores aren't up there. I'm like, and then we're like, oh, well, let's see if we could like order it online. And then Amazon says, oh, you can have this on March 24th. On May 24th. Mm-hmm. So anyway, but so because we're not together, I had texted you and said, hey, why don't we do each come up with our own signature cocktail, what do you have in your house before you went on lockdown? Can you make a cocktail with it? So that's what I did. I'm excited to tell you what I came up with.
All right. Well,
go first.
Oh, go first? All right. So you can see. I have what I'm calling a social distance.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a Greyhound.
Okay.
But with triple sec and orange juice also.
Okay. And now, did you had all of that in your house already? Well, of course.
Well, we had, because grapefruits are in season now.
Yep.
So we usually have those this time of year to make Greyhounds.
Okay.
So that's one of my winter drinks. So we had that,
cool.
And we had everything else.
Cool. Well, I made a Mary Pickford.
Oh, nice.
Which is for our listeners who don't know, is a Prohibition era cocktail from the 1920s, and I picked that for a specific.
Oh, yeah.
But I also was wandering around the house going, well, what the hell do we have sort of like left over? And I had everything. I had the rum, because it's rum, pineapple juice, grenadine, and a maraschino cherry. So I had everything except the grenadine. And I was like, fuck, I can't do that. And then I was like, wait. Isn't grenadine like basically a pomegranate simple syrup? And I found a recipe for make your own grenadine if you had 100% pure pomegranate juice, which we had.
Oh.
So I literally scoured every nook and cranny, and I was like, I can make this drink with what I have in the house. So I haven't even tasted it yet.
All right.
Have you had one before, a Mary Pickford?
I have, yes. Yeah, Jeffrey and Ross make them a lot.
Okay. All right. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. That's kind of like all the description said. It's a little bit sweet. And it's more pineapple-y than I expected. But the rum gives it a little kick. Sweet, Mary Pickford herself. I don't think I've ever seen a movie of hers. But so that was pretty cool. So are you doing a lot of day drinking like the rest of us?
No. Are you?
No. No, but you watch all the memes now, right? All the memes.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm way too busy.
Well, you're still working from home, as you were, right? And the kids are home.
And yeah, homeschooling.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, the days are pretty busy.
So I can't believe you even got to look at the magazine.
Well, I set aside time to look at this baby.
Right. So what did you think? April.
Overall, I have a lot of tags for like.
I do too.
So there was very little that I hated.
Yeah, they're. I mean, aside from the pink cover, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. But not much to hate, and even in some spots, I had to say, "Well, I gotta find something wrong with this."
Wow, we're making such a difference. I mean, we've basically transformed this magazine. Mm-hmm. We've made this magazine what it is today. But on the cover, what'd you think of the pink cover?
Well, it's pink, but it has some flowering branches. So it was pretty. Again, it's with pink, I'm kind of I don't really see it, but
yeah, but I mean, it does sort of scream spring, so that helps. Yeah. And we get to learn how to put sticks in a vase inside.
Yeah, I think I made a comment about that one too.
Of course, my first tag, page 4.
Yes, Stephen Orr's letter.
What kind of letter? Editor's letter.
Editor's no. So we find out that he is a synesthete.
Yeah.
Sees colors when he smells things, and smells things when he sees colors and music and all that.
I actually think I heard about this on NPR once.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, wow. That's why, I guess that's why he, how do I say this? And he says in here, basically, like he always, in his letters, when he's talking about color, makes an association to something with the color, right? And so he talks about associating colors with flowers and things like that. So this was actually an enlightening little letter, because I was like, oh, I get a little of his personality now, because he does do that. Like and there are things that he's talked about in the letters where, like, how the hell did he come up with that connection? Now we know why. Because he smelled it.
Yes.
And he I think the other thing that we learn in here is that he really loves Millennial Pink.
Oh yes, there was that too. So
Ergo the pink covers.
we disagree on some things.
And he's talking about, he's got, my favorite is how he's self-counseling, right? Oh, if only I could talk to my 10-year-old self and tell them how wonderful I really am. So overall, the letter was fine for me. I was okay with it.
Right.
I think he's, I really just look forward to his picture every month.
Yeah.
And I rub it.
You rub it, or you rub other things?
Oh! So I want to know where your next tag is.
My next tag is page 8, getting into the color stuff. So there's a photo, a little article about the Color Factory in Houston. And there is one in New York City that I went to 2 summers ago.
Oh, I think I remember that now. Were you guys in the ball pit?
Ball pit, yes, the ice glue ball pit.
Right.
Yes, my most liked Instagram photo ever.
You're kidding.
In the ice glue ball pit.
Wow.
So
I thought this was really cool. Did they have a room like this in the New York City one?
No, so apparently they're different. They did not have a color on the walls room. They had tons of different stuff. I mean, I can't even remember the rooms, but.
So this room looks really cool, though. It's a mom with her 2 young kids, and basically the wall is like a coloring book almost, right? And so they give them these big, huge, like marker crayon-y things, and you like color on the wall. I thought it was fascinating.
The whole Color Factory experience was really, really, really cool.
Yeah. So we need to go if we're ever allowed out to public again.
Yeah. I would close now, but
yeah,
when it opens, go back.
So what I also liked about this little piece was they're kicking off the whole discussion about color by saying, like, elevate the everyday, right? So do things outside of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's sort of interesting. I think we're all doing that right now as we're in our homes all the time, right? Like Tim and Michael keep laughing because half the time I make dinner now. And they're like, you don't cook? And I'm like, I'm a chef. Like, because, they're on a call or something like that. And I'm like, well, I'll just do dinner then. And so when I finally go back to the office, I hope they don't expect that I'm going to when I get home.
So on page 10, they talk about the accent wall, which, according to many designers, is out, but not here.
Well, there's a debate. I think what they did here, I liked, right? I think they gave some parameters, which is what I liked about the whole issue. Mm-hmm. They were it wasn't like, oh, just like paint your walls blue and get yellow, right? A lot of the stuff that they talked about was very specific. So in this discussion, the designer who says you can still use them is very precise, right? Make sure that the wall is sort of contained and that it has corners. Like, don't paint a big, a big wall in the middle of the room a color if it doesn't really have a natural end. Mm-hmm. So that was an interesting concept.
On page 14, they had a article about basically a charity shoe company called Reunion Shoe Company. So they're kind of like just Converse All-Stars that they doing custom paint colors. Just the fact that it was a charity project and it was cool and colorful, that spoke to me.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought an Attack for Love. And basically the concept is that they help people out of homelessness. So they work for the company, but they also, it's not just employment. They also they connect them to other services like counseling and medical care and stuff like that while they're employing them, which I thought was such an awesome holistic concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I might actually buy a pair.
I was thinking of that too.
Yeah, they've got sort of a Jackson Pollock look to them. It's definitely like paint splattery.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to wear it everywhere. Right? But I thought they were fun. And I love stuff that's like this. I love stuff that's creative and also helpful to people who might need help.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
What have you got next?
16.
16 on the dot.
I wore my polka dot shirt just for.
You did.
Do you have anything to say about polka dots?
I do have a tag for like.
Okay.
This again, they're timeless, and these things that they're featuring are kind of fun. When it's something this timeless, it's not really, you can't really do much that's new with it. But these were some fun things you could indulge your love without time.
Yeah.
I did like the paper napkins were cool.
Yeah.
I love the brown wallpaper.
Brown wallpaper is really interesting, right?
Yep.
It reminds me of the dress Julia Roberts wore in Pretty Woman. 28. That's where I stopped.
All right. So I told you I was stretching to find something not to like.
Yeah.
This I didn't really like, although this is kind of featuring some advice from designer and art Rebecca Atwood.
Yep.
And I actually like her art usually. But this particular room and her advice was like, it's so neutral, so boring.
The room was okay. I think this is where I started picking up the thread through the whole magazine, which is like, oh, here's another concrete way to look at something, right? Like the accent wall was like, make sure there are edges and corners at your wall. And this is her whole book, Living with Color, is about like basically using things get more mathematical later in the issue, but like math, right? Like pick one, do two, pick another. Like it's a formula, which I just thought the idea was really cool for people who struggle a lot with like, what should I do? Mm-hmm. Like colors, I really love this color, but how could I ever put it in a room? And she's basically saying, put it in a room, but here's your other steps. Right?
Sure.
I thought that was great because and I'm sure you have plenty of friends who say, what color should I do this? I don't know what to do. And then they pick beige or white, right? So I thought this was a great way of saying, sort of use this formula.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't love the room itself, I loved how she got to the room.
You like the advice, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the color she picked.
Right.
But, the advice is solid.
Yeah. So basically, we're talking about all the advice, and people are probably like, well, what's the advice? So her theory is you pick a favorite color, then you pick two neutral colors, then a connector color, which is a darker or lighter or grayer tone of your favorite color, and then a color that's a contrast to all of it. And if you mix those five to get five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together.
Wow.
5 together. You should have a room that looks pretty good together. So I thought that was cool. So my next tag was on page 32, which is part of the same article, basically. And this concept is to start with a favorite. She started with a fabric that she liked.
Yes.
And then built the room off of the colors in the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And another sort of like doable thing for folks. I've actually done it. Our entire apartment in Nyack, the whole thing was built off of a pillow. It was very 1998, but it was still lovely. So what do you think about this advice or this room?
I think the advice is fine. I don't know if I've ever pulled from a fabric, but I pulled from either a wallpaper or artwork, something like that. It's always been an inspiration point. So the advice I think is fine. In this particular room, she kind of pulls out these variations on basically 4 primary colors.
Right.
So there's kind of all over the color wheel.
Right.
Then my biggest thing is that aside from the inspiration fabric on an ottoman,
right,
other things she's done are all the same kind of similar scale. So there's no big pattern to break things up.
It's a very it's gonna sound strange. It feels small, the room, like
Yep.
It's small in scale. I mean, there's a big art piece, but even the chandelier, I'm like, oh, go bigger, girl. Size matters. Like and all of the furniture, it appears to be like the same height, like exactly the same height. So it's a strange. I didn't love the room.
Yeah.
I loved the advice.
Right. There's something about the scale that's
weird.
So are we on to 34?
I'm on to page 34, yeah.
So we have some paint can lids.
We do. It's not the best flat lay in the world.
No. But there are 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
6 different colors that from all over the color map.
Yes.
So let's see what's the whole point here.
Asked the editors to pick a favorite color that's in their house, and then talk about it, which is why they're all over the map.
Oh, all right, that makes more sense.
Because each one of the editors picks a color and then talked about it. It's definitely not like put all these in a room.
Thank God. Not work. No, actually, I think they would. Some of them would go together. Some of them,
right.
So, like, I could do with that wink. That's a light purple. Of course, pink.
It's a periwinkle, and it transforms from dusty gray to soft heather.
Well, I need to see it in a room. Light does.
Exactly.
Here it looks purple. Light lavender purple.
Lavender, yeah, definitely reads lavender. Yeah. But not spring lavender, like Grey Gardens lavender, like an aged lavender, right?
Right.
So, do you have a favorite?
One of my favorites is the Jamaica Bay. So that's a very like vivid ocean blue, which is pretty close to the color I painted our laundry room floor.
Oh, okay.
So
So my favorite because it's pretty much throughout our entire house. It's the color that I wind up putting in every single room of the house, like not Jamaica Bay, but sort of that tealy, um, bluey color. I don't know why it's in every room of my house. I should probably go to therapy to find out. But it pretty much, I mean, this room is not that blue, but it's blue. It's like a, and then the stiff key blue, which is the sort of a really dark color,
yes.
is kind of the color of the walls of our living room. So like, oh, so we've been doing this for years, and I haven't been called to talk about my favorite color.
Not yet.
Not
Not yet.
yet.
You will. I tagged page 42.
Okay.
Article actually begins on 40.
Right.
The tablescape article.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't really like the one in 40, but I love the one in 42 and 44.
Right. Right. Okay. So I didn't tag any of them because I was like, first of all, it's tablescapes, and they should have called me. But my favorite, I actually love the one on 42, which is a Seder dinner. Because so basically what they're doing is they're setting tables for the April holidays, right? So they're setting for Easter, for Passover, and then the final one's sort of like a kid's egg party. I thought Amanda Gluck's Seder dinner table was quite lovely.
It was. It is.
And simple, right?
Evening classic.
I mean, there's like chinoiserie.
Amazing.
And
Yeah. Classic.
it is nice though.
Nice though. No, because what I do like that it's just greenery and white flowers in the centerpieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And satyrs are actually not like colored eggs and Easter bunnies kind of dinners, right? So like that's what I liked about it, was that it was springy and fresh, but wasn't screaming Easter. I mean, they don't believe in Easter.
Right.
So, but I thought this was lovely, and Amanda starts in her hand. She starts all of her.
I started my hand too.
Centerpieces with her flowers in her hand. So that I'm going to do that too.
All right. You should. You probably do.
Where's your next tag?
I had an interior tag on page 48. So
Okay.
we'll talk about how to buy furniture online.
What does interior tag mean?
Meaning it's not on the edge of the page, like, hey, look at me. It's just buy it there.
Okay.
So what I
Because I usually have those removed.
well, by your proctologist.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Anyway, so I put a tag there because they offered some advice for buying a rug.
Yeah.
He finally said, if you're buying a rug for your dining room, don't buy shag. Even though they always picture shag rugs in dining rooms.
Right. It's just crap gets, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a light colored dining room rug. Basically, the background's white. It's got all these other colors on it. And about once a month, we're like, why do we buy this color rug for the dining room, right? Like, just spilt spaghetti sauce there, right? Like, and, like on your hands and knees, like scrubbing it off. But design, it's gotta be painful or it's not right.
It hurt. Yeah. That's why we removed the rug from our dining room, because I was tired of vacuuming up crumbs. So nope, no more.
But you're a stickler for like neatness to start with.
Yeah.
At your house, so even I got slapped. Wipe your face.
Well, we train our kids well on that.
And your friends. Don't come back until you know how to use utensils. This is the article that 30 years ago or more, when I started getting it, this is the article I wanted, right? This is teach me stuff, right? Here's how to measure this, this is how high a counter stool is. This is how high your sofa should be. This is how large your rug should be. It's an awesome, awesome article for like a newbie folks, which we're not. I mean, we have a podcast about design.
Right.
But that's what I loved about it. Most of it I try to use anyway, but this right here is Better Homes and Gardens does really well sometimes, right? It teaches you how to do something from a really concrete way, not like fancy schmancy bougie way, but like, hey, how tall should my nightstand be? I keep hitting mine. Well, that's because it's 6 inches too tall, stupid. But that, like that's what I liked about this particular. So I'm assuming you stopped on 58.
On 58, I did it. So for once, we have someone who built something not out of a box.
Not a box.
So this is a battery-operated pendant light. Put in, so you wouldn't have to wire a pendant.
Right.
I thought it was brilliant.
I thought it was.
All puns aside.
I thought it was cool too. I thought what they don't talk about, which needs to be, we need to call this out in the world. Lighting can be so fucking expensive, right? Like,
oh yeah.
And so she was talking about like, oh, she found a light that she thought would be a nice pendant, and it was $300. $300 is cheap.
Yeah.
Like lighting is ridiculous. Like so ridiculous that I don't even understand why we're not having a whole article about bring down the price of lighting. But this was, I thought this was cute because she was doing this for her friend. Like she made the room for her friend. So the macro part of this was that she did the whole room.
Right.
Right. But then the other part is that she made the pendant. But it's a little crafty for you.
It is. It's probably more work than I would vote in reality. But she knew what she was doing, so that's great.
Yeah.
They make reference to using hook and loop strips to hold the screen on.
Yep.
Do they just mean Velcro? I'm not sure.
Yes.
They just say Velcro because it's copyright?
Correct.
Thank you. I just figured that out myself. Thank you.
No, it's like you have little hooks with little loops, and you have to go around each of them, and you have to literally no, it's Velcro, but Velcro is like Kleenex and
Tissue
and Scotch tape, right? Like they are
Band-Aid and
Band-Aid, right? But there's a word for those Did you say the word and I missed it?
No.
There's a word for when a product name becomes the name of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because Velcro isn't the only hook and loop fixtures, you can't just say Velcro. It's like you can't say Q-tip. You have to say cotton swab.
Right.
You can't say Super Bowl. You have to say the big game. You can't. Unless you can't say Super Bowl.
Really?
Yep. Look it up.
All right, I will. So on page 62, we have an article called Color Shift, a kitchen makeover. What did you think?
Well, it's basically our before and after. It actually says before and after. I think, so I have mixed feelings. It made me actually stop and think, should we just paint our kitchen cabinets? And then I thought, well, Bob and Jay painted their kitchen cabinets, and Jay keeps bitching about how he painted the kitchen cabinets, and sometimes they chip and all, this, that, and the other thing. But I loved, this is basically a kitchen reno without a reno, right? Yes. She crafted it, right? She took her dark, sort of like dark cherry wood cabinets, which is what's all throughout our kitchen. And she lightened up the space by painting them different colors, painted the hideous floor tile.
Thank you for saying that. That's why I have attack for hate, because the floor tile.
It's
awful.
Come on. It's so this big bold floor tile stuff is all the rage again.
Yes.
Right? And it is gonna, I mean, I love Kelly and Dave to pieces, and they just put it in their laundry room. But it's their laundry room, right? This is the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a like turn of the last century feel, like a 1910, 1920s feel. But for me, it overwhelms the space.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Right? Like your eye is on the floor the whole time. But so I had all this mixed bag stuff. Like I liked the fact that she updated her kitchen without spending $50,000. It looks way better than the before, in my opinion. I actually liked the greens, which I'm not a big fan of to begin with. I mean, my biggest complaint is I don't understand the stove and the fucking box.
Box on the stove.
I don't understand that at all. Like I don't understand that.
Understand it.
It was a actual cooking stove space. Like I'm guessing like a hearth space. So just take it out. Like it's 2020. Just take it out. Like why do you put your god dang ugly range in it? Like it's just so that's on page 64. You're all going to turn to page 64 and go, why is her stove in a box?
And it's definitely a compromised makeover,
right?
So it's probably, she says it was kind of intended to be a Band-Aid, but she likes it a lot, so it's okay. I'm like, no, to me it's still a Band-Aid.
No, it was intended to be a cut bandage. A bandage for a cut. You can't say Band-Aid.
They'd say Band-Aid.
What the fuck? They can't say Velcro, but they're going to say Band-Aid?
Exactly.
Magazine.
That's why I was confused.
So just stop on 100.
And of course, because Lucy loves color. So this was one couple's very colorful, I think built from the ground up house, and no, I mean the kitchen. I mean all of it. I liked a lot of it, and
Yeah.
I thought was great. These kind of orange-ish like wood cabinets with this
Yeah.
steel tile wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. The tile. I love the tile wall. Looks like it's quilted.
Yes. Yep.
I love that. I love the light fixtures above the island. Some of the rooms I hated. Some of the rooms I loved. They kept talking throughout the whole article about, basically they're very distinct. The rooms are different. It doesn't feel like they're different when you walk through the house. I feel like they're very different. It was interesting. I don't love her style, their style, but it's really about Lucy. There are parts of it that just feel like 1970s professor in the Greenwich Village apartment. Like,
yeah. It made me think of my aunt. Not because it looks like her house, but it was a style that she would appreciate.
okay.
Being very kind of like, yes, 70s
ish, right.
Eclectic
ish.
Yeah, like a little
ish.
Yeah, bohemian hippie-ish. Not all the way, but
right.
Yeah, on the 102 living room with the fireplace, I did not like. The dining room I thought was a little cuckoo.
Wait. You didn't like the clean lines of the wood-burning stove that made it more modern than rustic?
No.
I was like, this is a way of saying this is a shit choice for this living room, but we're going to say it's modern instead of rustic. It was like, who would put that fireplace in? There actually are other really, I actually wish the article was like, Lucy loves accents, because there are pieces of this that are really cool. Pieces that, like, I liked the banana leaf wallpaper.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Right? I love the quilt-looking tiles in the kitchen. Yeah. I actually liked on page 105 the guest bedroom. Here's another room where we're painting the wall and all the way up a dark color. Mm-hmm. Almost.
I love that.
Into this, right? So I like some of it, and then some of it I'm like, I don't feel like it's about color. I feel like it's about her accents. So I think Lucy likes accents,
mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm renaming this article.
Okay. Agreed.
We're getting close. We're about to put sticks in a jar.
We are. Go. Put a stick in a jar.
Sticks in a jar. It's on page 108. It's actually not just sticks. It's the feature is basically about using flowering branches mm-hmm. in your home. Not just don't just go to the florist and buy stuff. They caution you not to cut your neighbor's foliage down in the article. Basically, it's like, don't have flowering plants in your yard. Don't cut your neighbors without asking permission.
No, mow your yard flat to have branches in your house.
Part of me is like, put sticks in a jar, and it makes me laugh. But I had a tag for love and I'll post it later on maybe this week. Basically, I have sticks in a jar. I have, we forced our forsythia, right? So, which now outside has actually caught up to the ones that we forced inside. So we have literally on page 108, there's a jar with some like sticks that you're like, what the heck is that? It looks like it's dying. We have sticks in a jar with forsythia that we forced. So I was like, it's kind of funny that I'm going to make fun of this. Doing it myself. So, did you tag page 114, The Art of Not Compromising?
I did. I mean, that's a great title for a article we're going to discuss. Not compromise.
Okay.
Straight up conflict. So the whole point of this was that this couple apparently has two different decorating styles, and somehow by magic, their interior designer found a way to make both of them happy. Shocker.
Well,
so I like the husband Matt's sensibility of what he likes.
I agree.
Lisa likes. It's pink and floral and light and
yeah. So basically the concept was the designer said, I'm not going to make you choose, right? I'm going to basically give each of you a room to dominate, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, but so, and then I'll sprinkle a little bit of the other one into that. And so I loved all of his, all the ones that were his.
Yeah.
On page 114 and 115, the spread is, I mean, I am more and more shocked at how much I'm like loving these features with black rooms. It's the living room is painted black.
Yep.
I'm like, that is awesome. It's got chartreuse and orange and other stuff in the space. My tag for hate was the big piece of artwork blob over the fireplace, which literally I was like, oh my God, that was my childhood nightmare. That like this big blob was coming. Like I would wake up screaming about the blob, and I'm like, Max, girl, that's what you want in your living room? But so I liked his sensibility a lot. I felt like her sensibility felt, or the way it was embodied and designed felt really, really like 1986. I just didn't like any of it.
Yeah, and I hear you. Yeah. I mean, in the dining room on 117, I okay with the wallpaper.
Yeah, it's fine.
A teal blue vines, but then everything else felt very, it was like, I forget what issue it was. It was last April or May. Maybe it was last April. That very like the 1980s cabana striped.
Yes.
Very like Eastery house that we both hated.
Yep.
I think all pink and blue.
Yep.
That's what I feel like this is. With the white furniture and the pink ceiling and the pink upholstery.
This dining room. When I looked at it, I was like, I don't know why they don't have one of those. Do you remember those big pastel-y rugs with like an Asian pattern? That
oh, yes.
Right, so that parts of it was thicker and parts like the plush was different and it was like carved and it was fancy. I was like, that's what this dining room is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A carved Asian carpet.
Hear
No, but not from Asia, right?
Yeah.
Like it was. So that's. But I love her, Lisa. So that was on page 117.
On 118, I loved the black tiled shower.
Yep. Again, right?
His room, yep.
Who knew I liked black so much?
I hated her living room.
but this is okay because it leads to the pool.
Oh, okay.
You can hate it because it's just a pass-through room. It leads to the pool. Yeah, it literally feels like the houses that I was in my teenage years. There was a neighborhood in Kingston called Hillside Acres, right, which was like a development area.
Okay.
And it was like everyone had these patterns, right? Everyone had these, like, this whole sensation is right out of my adolescence. Mm. And I'm like, this is design now. It's this close to Golden Girls.
Oh, good call, yeah.
Right?
It is, yeah. Yep. Very, yeah, like there's literally a lanai outside the window.
It's a lanai, right? I mean, the colors are different, but the concept with the big pattern chairs and like, whatevs. Oh, but there's shoes. There's shoes jauntily under the table, so it's carefree.
Well, because someone lives there.
So they go to the pool.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. Page 120. More is more.
More is more.
I love everything about this.
What's that to love?
Speckle every egg you've ever had.
But would you do this?
I am going to do it.
You're going to do it? Okay.
Trapped at home. I have ribbon and glitter in boxes. I am doing this, and I am mailing you some because I can't come visit you. I'm mailing you some for your Easter decor. I'm doing it.
All right.
So are you going to speckle your eggs or what?
I probably won't. But the egg cookies are more my speed.
Okay.
I could, I'll say again, I do it, but you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're not going to do it. But basically, for those of you who are following along, all three of you, this whole article, pages and pages of decorating egg-shaped cookies, ceramic eggs, plastic eggs, all these sort of eggs with jewels and glitter and ribbon and sparkles. I am just in love with all of it because more is more.
All right. So where are we going in our BHG throwback time machine this month?
We're going to 1926. Mary Pickford was all the rage.
Right. And the motif for this month is the gayest bird ever.
Flamingos. I actually don't really like flamingos. I mean, I've seen real ones and they're cute. As decorating concepts, I don't really like them, but they are super gay.
Yes, they are.
And people like David Brown love them.
He does, yeah.
And so I had to be like, this is kind of cool. And there's pretty much nothing on the page except the wallpaper and the cocktail napkins I would ever use because I don't really like flamingos. But it's cute.
It's very cute. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily buy these, but
Right.
I appreciate them.
It was April in our self-quarantined, stay home, social distancing like the rest of the world. So this was different. I mean, I can't wait to actually be with you again because it's way more fun to like be in each other's presence. But we did a pretty good job.
Not too bad. I mean, I think we're all getting used to this Zoom thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so good to know that we can do this. If anyone ever wants to be a guest.
Oh my God! Do you think we'll have a volunteer?
I don't know.
I think it would be fun to have a guest. I think we should put it out there.
So if you want to be a guest on our show, write your name and address on a 3x5 postcard.
My God, remember? So, I never know. Do I say my name? This is Rob Conlon.
And I'm Jay Dewey.
And may your home
and your garden
be a little bit better
than your neighbors
and your best friends.
See, there you got it.
I did it. I was able to do it.
Could Be Better podcast is hosted by Rob Conlon and Jay Dewey and is produced and edited by Jay Dewey. Theme music is by Ben Sound. Subscribe today on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts, or listen at couldbebetterpodcast.com. Want some free Could Be Better stickers or coasters? Email us at couldbebetterpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow the guys on Facebook and Instagram.
I mean, we're literally in the house, the three of us, all day long together, which has never Tim and I have been together 23 years and Michael's been here 14. We have never been together in the house, all three of us, for almost 3 weeks. No, it's been 3 weeks. This is 3.5 weeks. And one fight. One.
I'm surprised that you're all alive.